What is going on, everybody? Wanted to film a quick video to give you a quick update on how cold calling is going for me in this new job. So essentially, what we're doing is we're selling aesthetic lasers. So we can sell these to it's a cash pay service. So we can sell them to anyone with an MD or a DR in their name, pretty much across the board. Um, so this is med spas, eye doctors, dentists, general practitioners, dermatologists, plastic surgeons. They can all use these devices. So essentially, all I'm doing here is calling and trying to set a meeting. As you can see up here, this is before I got the job. I was, doing some cold calling for them to, just kind of see if I could do this or not. Um, and then this is yesterday, my first day on the job. You can see here we booked the most meetings, but our meeting book rate was a little bit lower. Um, the med spas do seem to be the hardest ones to book with just because they're just getting so many calls. They get so many calls from so many different people. They're just a bit saturated. So I just need to figure out a way to be better than everyone else. Because, like I said, I say this a million times, amount of competition is irrelevant. All that matters is the level of competition. So, if there's 2,000 people cold calling med spas, if I can just be better than those 2,000 people, I will win. They can add another 3,000 of them that suck, and I will still beat them. So the amount of competition is irrelevant. All that matters is that you're better than them. Eye doctors, on the other hand, they don't get that many calls from people. So as you can see here, we've got a 38.46% meeting book rate. So pretty good. And then yesterday it dipped a little bit since we were doing, both med spas and eye doctors. In terms of some lessons that I've learned so far and things that I'm noticing, I wrote them down here. So to start, number one, knowing the name of the person you're asking for. This is like I'd almost like not even make the cold call unless you have this. So like you can use Clay. You can just do manual research if you want. Just go on their website, go to the Meet the Team page or the About page, or the home page. Those typically always will have either the lead doctor or the owner, just somebody. Like you need to be able to call and say, "Hey, I'm reaching out to talk to Mike," whatever. If you're just like the doctor or a person or just something generic, immediately sniffed out. You're just like every other cold caller that calls this office. You got to at least know the name. Like I said, I wouldn't even make the cold call honestly unless I knew the name of the person I was asking for. Um, Next, what I've noticed is assuming the meeting performs way better than asking for the meeting. So, what I mean by assume the meeting is essentially I'm calling with almost the intentions of like, we already have a meeting on the books. I'm just calling to confirm that meeting instead of asking for the meeting. So, something I've been doing recently that's worked with dentists is, "Hey man, how's it going? It's Evan from Reveal Dental. I just wanted to give you a ring. I wasn't sure last time we did a lunch and learn, it was at 12, but I forget, was it 12 or 1 that you guys usually do these lunch and learns?" So you're almost assuming like, "Hey, like we've done this before. You know me." Um, Instead of asking, "How are you doing?" I like to ask, "How have you been?" So again, it's almost like they know me already. Again, with cold calling, it seems like to me, one of the most important things is tonality and familiarity. If they feel as though they're talking to someone that's their friend on the phone, even if they don't know you, subconsciously they just seem to want to book you more often. So like first thing in the beginning, like, and again, a lot of these front desk people, they rush through their opening call line. So it'll be like, "Hey, this is a blah, 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 from doctor's office, blah, 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 blah," and you're like, "What?" So if stuff like that happens, I'll literally say, "Hey, sorry, you broke up there for a second. I didn't catch your name. What was your name?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's Julia," or whatever. Addressing them by their name. "Hey, Julia, it's Evan from Reveal. How you been?" Now it's like, oh, like Julie's probably thinking like, "Oh, Evan from, do I know that person? Like, it sounds like he knows me. I should probably know him." Um, and then, you do the, "How you been? Great. How about you?" I always say, "I'm living the dream." You always get a little giggle out of that. And then you say, Somebody's got to do it, right? Another little giggle. So like those first couple seconds, you're building a ton of rapport. You've got the prospect giggling, laughing. They're enjoying the experience. And then you can go into, the childlike curiosity. Like, Julia, sorry, it's been a while since we last connected. I forgot. Do you guys do those lunch and learns? Is that at 12 or at 1? Oh, we usually do them at around 12:30. No wonder I got it wrong. It's neither, not 12 or 1. 12:30. Great, great. Okay, awesome. So I'm gonna be in the area from the 18th to the 20th. What day would work best at 12:30 for you? And then a lot of times you'll just hear them in the background, go straight to the computer. Let me check. Up Tuesday. Tuesday the 19th would actually work perfect. Great, great. Let's throw that in the calendar, pencil that in. I'll call you the day before to confirm. And Julia, just one last thing before I let you go. What kind of food do you guys like? Because I hate showing up with bad lunch. Oh, there's this pizza place down there, whatever, whatever. Get them to open up, get them to be people. One of the mistakes that I made early on was, again, I was all just like shove the meeting down their throat, just shove the meeting, just keep pushing it until they book or die. Um, because I felt as though a lot of cold callers are just scared to do that. They're just scared to push. They're scared to handle objections when they hear no. They're just like, okay, and that's it. And they hang up. So I figured, you know what? Let me just push through all of this stuff, handle every single objection, no matter what it is. And they'll be forced to give me the meeting. Now, that did work to a degree. But again, you almost always have kind of like a sour taste in the mouth afterwards, just because it was a little too pushy. Um, I think what's important here is that you still maintain that pushiness, but you back it up with more rapport. So the more you push, the more rapport you have to build. So something Ormozy always says is the best salespeople are the ones that ask for the sale the most, right? And then a lot of people think like, well, if I'm just constantly asking for the sale, it sounds kind of douchey, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, it is. It is very pushy and douchey. Like that, those are the salesmen that people hate. But but the caveat is the salesperson that can ask for the sale the most while maintaining rapport, right? So I'm just asking for the sale, asking for the sale. They're gonna get pissed off at me and just hang up the phone. Then I can never ask again. But if I'm able to maintain rapport and increase rapport every single time I make a call, or sorry, make an ask, I'm able to keep them on the phone longer. I'm able to keep them talking, and then eventually it'll get them to book the meeting. Now, this is another thing, like keep them talking is huge. Um, do not talk at these people. Ask questions, get them to answer, get them to respond. Again, it's something I think this is discussed in Robert Cialdini's influence book, about the more people talk, it's almost this sunken cost fallacy that the more they talk, the more they're involved. Therefore, the more they're likely to take the desired action. Um, so again, one of the first things, if you've never cold called before, I would just get comfortable on the phone with these people. Like these guys are warriors. They're answering the phones all day, so that they've heard everything. And if you don't have the confidence or the charisma to kind of get on the phone and talk like a normal person and you're stuttering, I don't care what script you're using or what lines you're using, it's just not going to work. So I would just get on the phone and just start calling these people. Just get your reps in, start getting comfortable on the phone, start sounding cheery and happy, get people laughing, things like that. Um, and you'll really see some results from that early on. The last one, this is something I haven't used yet, but a friend of mine I talked to last night had mentioned this, and I think it's a really good idea. He said it helped him out a lot, so I'm going to give it a go today and let you guys know. But something he said was matching tonality. So something I was doing was, every single person I spoke to, I had the same tonality. I was always happy go lucky, excited guy, right? I figured, who doesn't want to talk to the happy, excited guy? Like, cheer these people up. They're having a rough day. Let's cheer them up. And something that he had mentioned is like, just match their tonality. So, like, if they're very low and somber and having like a rough day, or it's an early Monday morning, match that. Be like, oh, Julia, it is. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait for Friday. This Monday morning, I had a rough weekend. I'm exhausted today. And then again, now you're building rapport. You're being one of them. One of the themes that I've kind of noticed is like, you almost just want to imitate them and make them feel as though as you're one of them, you know? So if they're very somber and it's a tired, sleepy Monday morning, and you're like, "Hey, Julia, how you been? How was your weekend? I had a blast this weekend. I'm so excited for this Monday. How about you?" And it's like, dude, come on. I am exhausted. Like, I don't want to talk to this guy. So matching tonality, I think, will be something very important. He said that again, it really helped with his booking rate. Again, I haven't tried this yet, but I'll be giving it a go today. And I don't see why it wouldn't work because again, I was doing the happy, excited guy tonality the entire time, and like again, we still got 6 meetings booked, so it is what it is. But I think matching tonality will definitely help increase that, or at least increase conversation length, which isn't necessarily a good thing all the time. Again, if you're just rambling on with somebody for 20 minutes, like just hang up the phone. Like even if you were going to get the meeting, you could have made 3 more dials in that time and probably booked 2. So um, I try not to stay on the line for as long as possible, but early on when you're first getting started, I think just keeping people on the phone as long as you possibly can and just talking to them and getting that getting your footing and like hearing all of the different objections. Because like to me, the best cold callers, the best salespeople, they've just done so many reps and they've had so many calls that they've heard every objection possible, just like these cold call or these front desk people have heard every cold caller ever, and they know exactly all of our tricks. You as a salesperson kind of need to be just as equipped with every single objection that they have, and have a good objection handler for each of those that's quick, that's natural. And you don't want these to be combative. That's something that I think I'm struggling with. That I think a lot of my objection handlers are combative, whereas if you're able to handle an objection with a question rather than just like, "No, you're wrong, I'm right," um, that seems to work better. This is something I struggle with a lot because I'm very sales focused, and like calling rapport seems to be kind of a little bit more important early on. Um, but instead of saying, so for example, one of the objections I get a lot is I'll be calling the front desk and they'll say, "Hey, listen, I would love to book this appointment, but the office manager isn't in right now, so I can't book this appointment." So a lot of times what I would do is again, combative, would say like, "So how do you book appointments? Like, do you just not book appointments when this person isn't in? Is it just impossible to book appointments when the office manager isn't in?" Um, Now, honestly, like that question is a good question. It's just the tonality that I was following. Like my tonality was almost like the way I just said it, where it's just like, what does that matter? Like you can still put something on the calendar if an office manager isn't in, which is true. It's the case, but again, you don't want to come off like a jerk to these people. So yeah, just keep matching that tonality, keeping that childlike curiosity, not being afraid to hear no. Like again, there's thousands of people that you can call. Don't get nervous, don't get scared. If people say no, they're not saying no to you, they're just saying no to your offer, or they're saying no right now. um have fun with it, guys. Like this, it sucks. Like don't get me wrong, like cold calling sucks, it's not fun. But if you turn it into a game, if you have some fun with it, if you can laugh about the no's, it gets a whole lot easier. So this is a little bit of a longer video today, but I hope it helped. Like I said, I'm just getting into this, and I'll be sharing all the things that I learn throughout the week as I get better at this, and I'll be being transparent, sharing the stats with you, just so you guys can learn from it. Awesome. Hope you guys have a good one. Talk soon. Bye.